Hello everyone and welcome to today's video, two-part special. We're going to be covering BxS here on server 33 versus the JEDI and DX guys. So this is Big Boy Nephisto's alliance against the Big JEDI order here. So let's see how this goes. We're going to follow the whole process through. We're going to watch basically the start of it through the BxS point of view and watch how the map obviously progresses and add that special bit of theory crafting involved too. So I hope you do enjoy today's episode. It's going to be something special and I hope it does outline a nice, fair, balanced, neutral showcase of basically the first day of the war, so from both sides, right? So I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the full day one. Welcome back. So we're going to continue exactly where we left off. So you can see that we have the DX forces here with the JEDI located to the right. And these are the enemies, basically. These are the guys that are going to fight Nephisto's alliance. And honestly, this was live streamed and this was a blast to watch. So from here, what you can see is we basically fast forward in time because we're going to try and make this video a really nice breakdown story. As you can see, and in the top right corner we'll show you the time, so you can see this as a nice highlight throughout the days of what we were watching, right? Nephisto is rallying obviously the pass. The pass is getting rallied by a Syndron Freyga rally, and he's using his Madeline Hosk as a main troop to tank it. Very, very interesting. And the thing is with this, it allows BxS actually to capture pass one first, so they do gain an advantage in that regard, because if you are anyone who is a very good tactical genius, you will understand if you capture that pass one or pass opening first over your enemies, it allows you to build quicker, it allows you to get your troops to the center quicker and potentially push even more territory faster because you're obviously in there, and that advantage is massive. So here what we're going to showcase is that massive BxS swarm. So they do gain the pass first, so that is the congratulations banner there, and we're going to just showcase everyone going in here. So this is how it initially starts, and what we're going to do is now move forward into some new clips, and that's going to showcase how this progression from the initial start here from BxS's push develops into maybe an aggressive start, and how JEDI then comes back and comes and obviously fighting and swinging with the DX forces. So let's have a really good video. I hope you do enjoy this and the way I break it down. If you don't, slam a comment and let me know, because obviously I'm gonna try and get better at doing this type of stuff if you guys enjoy this type of content. So let's go into the next clip, which is all about the next forward moments. So the opening, and this is what you could imagine to happen, right? The first man in was Nephisto, and we did get to watch this, and Nephisto runs in head first, being the T5 player and the big monster at 355 million power as he is. And you can see all of his troops coming in now, and obviously BxS starting to eventually come to help them when he needs to. But you've got DX there, and DX are trying as hard as they can to kill his archers, but you can see how much damage his archers are doing. So it's absolutely crazy showcasing this T5 power with a Nico Canara power march there, absolutely shredding through the cavalry units that are not expertise clearly in this, right? He's got two marches there. We can see he's got two, but we can't see because of the way he's laid it. Very special tactic there, laying on top of each other. He's not been able to actually showcase that second march, but you can see it in the background, right? But as you might have noticed, Nephisto did swing around with some cavalry and flank from behind and save his own unit. So really good little bit of strategy there from Nephisto himself. But this is how the opening skirmishes kind of start. You got to think all the units are running into the center, so whoever is the fastest will obviously occupy it. So from here, what starts to happen and develop is JEDI. Obviously, JEDI gain access, as you saw with DX, into the zone. And what they do is start pushing towards the central zone of the map and start to control these bridges, because you can see with those bridges it gains access into this chasm, and it's this chasm where all of the DX cavalry forces are kind of sitting. This murder ball of cavalry is quite disgusting and can be used at very, very effective rates if the enemy are not watching it, because this could just disappear if no one's tracking it, and if it disappears and catches you off on a flank when they push their main murder ball in there, it will cause a big detriment. So here what we can see was the little flag placements, but a really cool concept in this video, what I wanted to cover, which we are going to do a war room episode on, was a BX rally bomb. So they did try to send a rally bomb, and what this basically is almost like a taxi or a rally where you have the strongest player as the rally leader, and then all the other players that want to join all send their marches in, fill the rally up, and then when it gets to the location you want it to, or if you're a really good alliance like NCDX did here, you are able to block that rally in. And if it's blocked or if it reaches its destination, what you're able to do is cancel that rally, and you've got to think if there's any ranged units right nearby, you can choose that target with a marker, cancel the rally, and all the cavalry units will target that one march, get the unyielding rush, immediately get the artifact damage, and you're about to see it here. So here we go, look, all the artifact damage about to trigger in 3, 2, 1, bang, there's one, there's a second one, there's a third, 4, 6, 7, so much artifact damage, right? Even though these troops are about to get absolutely melted by the NCDX forces, which are working together beautifully here to get all of this T5 killed, you can see the effectiveness of what a rally bomb can potentially do, right? If this comes down a flank and catches your enemies off guard, it's gonna cause massive detriments to you, and obviously it's going to give you the advantage. So a really cool bit of gameplay footage there that I thought you guys would enjoy. So we're going to move on again to the next clips into the footage. So this is basically the development, right? So far, just to recap what we've gone over, BxS captured the pass first. They've pushed towards the center. JEDI captured their pass second with DX, and through a bit of pass flipping, they've got all of their troops in, and they've pushed about a quarter of the way up into the map, and that's allowing them to be positioned where you saw, and where the murder ball of the BxS cavalry are, that's more central, that's more in the middle, right? And then above in the north is obviously where they are building. So that's just a little bit of a recap there, just to know where we are currently at on the map and timeline, right? So let's go again in the future and see what goes on in this development. Welcome back. I just want to say, if you are watching all the way through so far, smash a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I do apologize if you do hate this point this way, you know, the big chat. This was recorded live, and you can be part of the chat and videos, which we do kind of put as a feature on some of them when we're talking about it. So what we're showcasing here is the current situation of what we were covering and how it developed. So JEDI moved in from the south, and you can see the red line here showcasing the JEDI murder ball. So this is where they're positioned, just at this bridge, and you can see how defensive BxS are positioned with their line. But the way they're doing that line is very, very crucial, right? If you've been watching any of my War Room episodes, this might be a consideration, because that's such a short distance for the blue line means their refresh timers is very, very quick, right? So they can always win the field at home turf, if you want to say that, right? And if we call the black zone, as you can say, the dead zone, the black home turf, you can see the advantage they have, right? Compared to the DX and JEDI forces that have to travel so much longer, which could be a 10 to 20 minute refresh timer. So it's a very important situation to see how their strategy is, you know, lined up, because we can see the BxS forces lined up right here, and they are positioned in between both ramps in case they need to, you know, move. You can see all of the JEDI forces now moved up into the center of the map. So these guys are controlling the center with NCDX, and you can see NCDX starting to move, and they move into a very aggressive position, I must admit. This ball moves into such an aggressive position that it threats at any given moment, if they are asleep, a push through to the north. And if they push through to the north, as we're going to showcase a little bit later, the tactics that could be involved, right? Because you've seen where the BxS was positioned. In the live stream, we did even cover it, right? And I did even say I didn't really like that BX positioning, and we're going to hopefully showcase why a little bit later on. But that murder ball there, you can see I'm showcasing it on the screen there with the mouse going a bit crazy. But that was showcasing how that murder ball is moving up into that area and then threatening to go up through the main chasm. So this is a very good tactical move by the NCDX Alliance and the Jedi forces here. So they're working perfectly in harmony here, trying to time basically a two-pronged attack on this murder ball. Because as you can see where this is positioned, there's a ramp located just here, but there's also another ramp just located at the middle there, right? So this is a very scary situation to be in, and obviously you could always develop this situation to a more aggressive move, but this is what happens. So DX now shows up to the party too. So now you have more alliances. You have 3 alliances all pushing up to this murder ball. And what happened were BxS responded fastly because they could see movement, which is clever of them, and moved their troops around the corner into a more defensive position. So they are playing defense. They know they're outnumbered on the battlefield, I believe, and they are picking, if this was my game plan, this is the correct decision, right? If you're outnumbered, you want to position yourselves in the best position to always maximize the field so you can win it and obviously keep pushing your advantage, right? So here, which is a very important thing by DX, which is being outlined, and they do very, very successfully here, is run in and block this entrance. And this is what I was hinting at earlier and scared of, because if they are able to get control of this ramp, all of the marchers that are AFK, as you can see now, are gonna get punished, and these guys get punished absolutely brutally here. You're gonna see so many free merits given to DX, and this is one of the actual main problems that I did see happen a few times during the stream. And this is obviously no bad blood or anything, but we need activity, and I believe Nephisto and any of the guys who are in the main officer team would be looking at these guys' names and asking themselves, why are you guys AFK during wartime? Because that is the main question, and this is what happens if you are AFK. Look at the punishment by DX. They are not waiting at all. All of this cavalry coming in from different flanks now, from the bottom and the left now. Jedi coming on screen to clean up as well all of these free kills. And the beautiful thing of this is free merits. This is costing BxS troops in the hospital. So those players now need to heal this. And if they don't heal it, that free healing time is wasted. You know, you've got to think that free healing always works when you hit the heal button. As soon as you hit it, it works. But if you're not healing, it's not doing anything. It's at max capacity. You're not gaining that benefit. So this is brutal punishment here by the DX and Jedi, showing no mercy during war, which honestly I love to see, because I don't want to see mercy in war. You need to be bloodthirsty. If you come in here to fight, you're coming here to fight, and this is what goes on. So again, as you can see, we're progressing through time nicely here. This is only about 40 minutes after what we just witnessed, and DX show up, and BX have to now do their defense. They need to defend this zone from Jedi and DX from pushing any further. And the cool thing is that you're going to notice here though, BxS are almost fighting on home soil, right? And because the home soil advantage, as you can imagine, your castles can refresh the troops. So they can play, if you want to call it, a little bit more loose, especially the T5 players trying to capitalize, killing on the T4. So here is almost like that Mexican standoff. Everyone's waiting to pull the trigger, but I can tell you something. Once the trigger is pulled, it is very obvious who has pulled the trigger here, because it is no waiting about. They go in, and when they go in, it is a full commitment, and I love to see it. So I know you guys love watching war, and I've waited to give you guys the big, massive fight, if you want to call it, at the start of the first pass opening. So hopefully you see in this video, it's a little bit different to my other videos. I've kind of given you that, like, you know, hour by hour highlighting what's gone on, story by story. You can see how the map's been developing and how each alliance has behaved, right? And here is the ultimatum, right? This is the first major fight, and without any worry or any provocation, here we go. Jedi go in. So the front line of Jedi start to go, and this is where it's big, because as soon as that front line goes, all the back line is going to follow up, and this is going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be very hard to follow, so you're going to see a lot of action here on screen. You're going to see the two main DX, SOD and Zeta, being their front line here, and Zeta getting focused tremendously. You can see the amount of damage, and even the portrait shaking instantly, constantly, means he's easily getting focused. You can see even the health bar for Zeta getting absolutely shredded. But on BxS side, it's the same. Perch is the main guy getting focused, with the main Nika just above getting secondary focus. And this murder ball by the DX guys here are all focusing the front line. You can see the major front line focus, and the reason why they're doing this is if there's no front line, that back line is basically naked. And if you're naked as a backline unit, you know how that feels. You have to run, because if you don't run, next minute you get an infantry hitting you, that's an 80% slow. You get a mage hitting you with that AoE freeze, that's another 20, 40, 60% slow, depending on talents and builds. You have artifacts coming on you, you've got archers melting you down, and this is what is starting to happen. But again, you've got to remember, we can see massive losses now on the BxS side, but BxS have that home soil advantage, so they can refresh and keep coming into the fight. So let's see how this fight develops, because JEDI and DX are doing a fantastic job here. I must admit, the way they combat and fight together as a union here is insane, and it is something very, very scary, and a lot of other servers should take advantage of and watch how they are fighting, especially over the live stream, where you can watch this play by play, minute by minute develop. And even when I talk about it, you're going to see some more insights and special in-depth for those lucky viewers, right? So here we go, we've got it even going, pushing. You can see the line now being drawn, so you can understand what is going on, right? You've got the backline line just being drawn. You've got the main line now being drawn between the BxS forces and the Jedi and DX. So you can see, compared to where it were before, where I drew the back line, that's where the fight initially were. And now it's moved, at least on screen, at least 2 inches, which is a good amount of distance. You can see that's nearly 4 or 5 units worth of distance, and they're closing in. You can see them slowly closing in and finishing it off, all these BxS guys, and the prize is on show. Why this fight was so important to win, because now they can see the flag. They can see the flag being built. They can go for the builders. They can stop the building and basically slow this down, because if they allow the building to keep being built at maximum efficiency, you've got to remember, this will allow cities to be teleported here quicker, allowing the flags in the future to be built even quicker and provide more field presence. So this is an amazing bit of footage. I honestly love this. I hope you guys have enjoyed the way it has been obviously showcased here. You can see just that beautiful swarm gameplay of the Jedi forces working together from the start of the fight, initiating, working in harmony, perfect focus, and honestly wiping out so many of the BxS forces. So obviously this is so far part of the major fight. We've got loads more to go. It sounds crazy. This isn't the end of the video yet. We still got a load more footage to go over. So I hope you have enjoyed it. just to showcase here before it went a bit crazy, if you zoom in and out when there's too much going on, if you're playing on maximum ultimate graphics like I do, you will lose some of the UI. So this is where I am helping and drawing it. This is the BxS backline murder ball there, fighting, and they're pushing forward, and the enemies of troops just in front, as you can see, now showcasing on screen is the front line. And then all the Jedi and DX forces have basically gone around where that flag was and pushed through this choke, and they're going for blood. Honestly, they're trying to maximize, and this is a really good thing to talk about, they're trying to maximize the amount of troops they get in with that stamina. They're not caring if they'll die in here. They're gonna push as far as they can push and honestly get as much merit as possible, because they know they have a long distance walk home. So if they can make this push go all the way to the gate, and then they have to, you know, reset, they have to reset. But this is where BxS now do some combative absolute genius. They're in a chokehold. You can see it. They're in this middle chasm, and they drop the Thunder Rock. It was a little bit delayed on the summoning, but you see the banner and summoning appear, and here it is, and it's coming to save the day here. The Thunder Rock, really good actual PvP Behemoth, and the reason is, if the Beastmaster actually moves this around, and he doesn't do it here, but if he moves this around on the outskirts and gets more into the middle of all of these troops, the AoE damage this thing does is absolutely deadly, and it does honestly change the tide of the battle. And you can see that here. Look at now all of the reds and yellows that are appearing on the DX forces, and the BxS are now working again perfectly in harmony with the Beastmaster here. Whatever the Beastmaster is doing, these murder balls at the bottom are perfectly targeting the same red units, and by doing that you can see how many Jedi DX forces just got killed, another bunch just got killed, and they're walking home in waves. And this is from the beautiful AoE combat being used, but you can see DX are trying to fight back, and the reason they are fighting back is focusing down that Thunder Rock. They know and they understand, even though the Thunder Rock range is limited to that ring, if they can kill that, obviously that means its use is lessened, and that means the timer for that actual Thunder Rock was wasted, so they gain more benefit, because now in theory they could summon their Thunder Rock if they needed to and have an advantage in that Behemoth game plan, right? It's a little bit more of an advanced tactic there, but I do love the fact that both alliances here showcasing some great strategic prowess. And this is why I really think day one, from what we've been recording so far and talking about, has been amazing. And that's going to be basically the summary of today's video. We've got part 2 coming up, since as you can see this video is approaching midnight, but we did record all the way until 2 o'clock in the morning, and we did some more recording on the day after. So what we're going to do is end the video here for part 1, and in part 2 we're going to showcase how this map has developed from this initial push, because you can see how the BX forces are pushing around. You can see how the DX and Jedi guys are moving up through the southern hemisphere to the center. So this is a very interesting fight. If you guys hopefully enjoyed today's video on how it's been commentated, brought to you with a nice little bit of story from both sides, since you could see I was obviously showcasing the BxS point of view at the beginning to the DX and Jedi point of view at the end. So hope you guys do enjoy it, and honestly, if you do, hit the comment below, let me know. I can do more videos like this on other servers. You just got to obviously let me know what server. And then smash the like button, smash a like and hit the sub. And if you do, you're going to know more Call of Dragons content will be coming your way, because I am an official Call of Dragons content creator. So let's keep that up, keep smashing those views, hit the like button and support myself, guys. So thank you very much, and until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out everyone.